Alright guys, I'm going to make a quick video and I'm going to dedicate this video to my buddy Ham. If you guys have been following along, Ham had a pretty bad toss a couple days ago, lost a good third of his birds, and that's really discouraging. We've all been there, guys. It sucks to lose these birds. We put a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of money into getting these birds right, and then you lose them on a short toss, and it's discouraging. I looked at his videos. Rest assured, guys, he did everything right. I mean, it's exactly what I would have done. It's exactly what we would have done. It just happened to be a bad day. Could have been anything. Could have been a hawk attack, broke the birds up, flew in the wrong direction for too far, and they couldn't get back. Couldn't, too far out of their way, didn't know how to get back. He still got a good majority of his birds. Obviously, those are the better birds. They made it. So he still has a good team. But that doesn't really help it out anymore, especially in how the man feels. So hang in there, man. I'm pulling for you, brother. This is just one of those videos I want to make on a quick tip that I use when I train my pigeons. And I just want to highlight a few things. Google Maps, man, could be your best friend. I've used this since I started, and it's helped me out immensely. This is a good example, for instance. This is not my area. Don't dig too deep into it, guys. It's just a spot on the map that I chose. If you want to get from Domino's Pizza to Willow Run Airport, you have 3 separate paths that you can take. More than that, but this is what they highlighted for me, so that's what I'm going to use. 12 minutes, 14 minutes, and 16 minutes. The shortest path is 6.3 miles. The longest path is 8.9 miles. So if you think that you're jumping your birds from here, let me get out of there, from Domino's Pizza to Willow Run Airport, and you're going 8 miles, you're incorrect. The bird doesn't fly this path. The bird's gonna fly the way a bird flies, straight home. They don't have stop signs, they don't have lefts and rights, things of that nature, so they're gonna go on a straight path. So how do we find that path? Let's go ahead and get out of here. Hopefully that clears everything for me. And it did not. Let me see if I can't close it all out. There we go. Alright, so getting back to where we were. Let me see if I can't find it now, because of course I lost it now. Son of a gun. I think it was up here, wasn't it? Hang in there, guys. I'm not great with this. For all you little shits that can work these computers blindfolded, that's not me. So hang in there. Bear with me here. Alright, let me find Domino's. Come on, where are you? Where are you? On Cherry Hill. There it is, right here. Alright. So the best way you can figure out the way a bird is technically gonna fly, should fly, is you go ahead and right hand click on the mouse. And you see it says measure distance. Click on that. Let's zoom out, because it's easier to find Willow Run Airport this way. Willow Run Airport. Let's pick a spot where, boom. And that went from 8.9 miles to 4.3 miles, or 4.83 miles. You see the difference? So let's say you set your clock on your car and you drive 8 miles. You think you took your birds 8 miles, and in fact you took them 4 miles. Be cautious about that. I've not found it to be further. It's always been less, because again, the route that we have to drive is not straight as the bird would fly. So just be very cautious when you're jumping the birds out. You're not necessarily jumping them as far as you think. Second to this, I mean, obviously you guys can play with this at home. Again, right click and it'll show you, how you can always add. If I click again, it'll add more distance this way. If I click on the bullet point, it'll go away. You can also drag. If you find yourself, you get to that point and there's just not a good spot to release your birds and you have to go down the road, you just click on it and you can pull that and you can find out exactly how much further you had to go with your birds. You can use this on the phone as well. It's a little bit more difficult. I like to pinpoint my locations before I leave the house so that I know where I'm going. Second to this, what I like to do is I'll zoom in. Let's say I want to fly in this direction. 5.7 miles. Let's go ahead and do a satellite image. Where am I at? Alright, this is actually a good spot. It's got a little bit of everything. It's not too crowded. It's got some open fields. Looks like maybe I can find an empty parking spot. I can maybe pull off on the side of the road, let the birds out. This is a good spot. I would honestly avoid anywhere where there's going to be bridges or anything that may potentially have other pigeons in that area. I'd like to avoid that as much as possible. Birds have a natural flocking instinct. Last thing you want them to do is, you know, join that group of ferals, and then that's the last time you've seen that bird. So, like I said, just a quick tip, guys. Take it or leave it. I mean, you may already know, you know, about using Google Map. It has helped me out immensely. Hopefully this helps you out the same. And again, this isn't to highlight anything that Ham may have done wrong, because he didn't. He did everything correct. It just happened to be a bad toss, but it has helped me out. Second to this, I want to mention is do not waste your time training your birds in every single direction, north, south, east, west. If you are flying primarily from the southwest, train them from that direction. Myself, I pinpoint exactly where they are released to my loft, and I get a broad spectrum of how the bird is going to fly and what direction is going to fly to get home. It's not always the case. A heavy wind will blow them way off course, but 90% of the time, if it's a nice, calm, clear day, this is the path most likely they're going to take. And I do that for every release point, and I get an idea of what direction I want to train my birds. And it doesn't have to be exactly on the line. That's a lot of horse. I was about to say some stuff, but I think that's false. You don't have to be on the line, because the birds, again, they're not going to fly a straight path. The wind could blow them 10 miles south of where you think they're going to fly. So as long as you're in that area, you don't have to be exactly at this corner. You could be a half mile down the road, a mile down the road. The bird's going to cover that area regardless. Don't waste your time going in the opposite direction. You're not educating that bird. Let me rephrase that. You are educating it, but you're educating it in a negative way. You're teaching that bird to overfly or potentially overfly, and then have to backtrack to come back to your loft. And you're losing time. You're at the bottom of the sheet week after week because you thought training them north is going to be helpful, and it really isn't. And take it slow, guys. And slow doesn't necessarily mean short. If your birds are doing well, you can jump them 5, 10, 15, 20, and then double that increment. Slow doesn't necessarily mean short. What I mean by slow is if you have to go multiple times to the same location, do that until they're beating you home. For instance, myself, I started very slow. I started them at a mile, which a lot of you guys are laughing. I know the birds can fly that. That's fine, but I watched my birds for the last few weeks, and they did not range at all. They didn't leave the house. They didn't leave a 100-foot radius around the house. Not once. So I know even a mile is going to be a challenge for them, and it was. It took them 20 minutes to get home. But day 2 took them 15. Day 3 took them 6. When I was comfortable enough, I jumped them. I jumped them from 1 to 3 miles, and guess what? They beat me home. I jumped them again the very next day from 3 to 6 miles, and they beat me home. I've already built that confidence in those birds, and when they get out of that basket, they know the direction they need to go. However they found out, if they're following the sun or whatever the case is, they know now exactly where they need to go. And they beat you home. And they should every time. If they're not beating you home, do not jump them any further. They're obviously not getting it. I mean, if you have a bad 10-mile toss, take them back to the 10 and see if they do better. If they do worse again, maybe go half a mile down the road, not exactly in that same spot. Maybe that spot's bad. But you guys get the idea. Taking it slow doesn't mean taking them short. Just take it slow. Make sure they're beating you before you get home. If you get home and they're flying above the loft, great. Take them down the road. They already know where they're at. They already know where they've been. Boom, further on. Jump them. I like to go, for instance, if I started at a mile, I'll jump them, like I said, from 1 to 3, from 3 to 6. I'll probably go from 6 to 10, 10 to 15, 20, and so on. You can almost double it. If you want to start them at the 2, just see how they do. Go 2, 4, 4, 8. 8-16, and just go on that direction. You don't have to go a mile at a time. You're not teaching these birds anything. They have a natural homing ability, and they will find their way home. What we're doing once we get to a certain point is building that stamina, building that muscle, and educating that bird that when it leaves that basket and is in that large group of pigeons, it knows when to break off. However it knows, a lot of guys think that they may have some sort of recognition. They may notice something. So they choose, like even myself, at the 30-mile station is the back of Cabela's. So that I hope that if on a race day they fly over Cabela's, it's something familiar and they know they need to go exactly this direction to get home. They need to pull away from that group and fly straight home. Just a quick tip, guys. Take it or leave it. Again, I'm not an expert. Don't beat me up too much over it. I'm just trying to help out. This is what I use, and it's helped me out immensely. Use it. Put it to use. Let me know how it works for you guys. Nonetheless, Ham, I hope you get your birds back, brother. If not, I'm still pulling for you. I think you'll do well. Hang in there. Use the information. Take them down the road and don't look back, man. Enjoy the sport.